Beautiful day. Just give me 1 second, please. Trying to do something real quickly. Um, Today, predominantly in this video, I want to talk about vanity, the decisions we make, and the true nature of some of these spirits that a lot of people talk about. You know what I mean? Um, when dealing with things like vanity, I know people bring up a lot of scriptures like people with vain tongues and vain imaginations and don't be vain and egotistical, and they talk about the ego a lot and stuff like that. Well, the thing is, when dealing with those things, as I've told people before, everything has its own spirit, so to speak. When I say that, I'm not talking about in terms of like polytheism and stuff like that. I mean, for the beholder, everything has a certain spirit. And so when I talk about spirits, as I've said in a lot of my other videos, when I talk about spirits, I'm not talking about like magical things or things like that. When I talk about spirits, predominantly, I'm talking about the knowledge of something. And so I've said before in my videos, like if it's the wintertime and I go into a house and there's Christmas decorations everywhere and they're making cocoa and the fireplace is going, then that would be like the Christmas spirit total. There's a bunch of things coming together to give the spectrum or the spiritual matrix of Christmas. And so the reason I want to talk about vanity though, and different things when dealing with spirits, like the spirit of Halloween, the spirit of church. You go into a church and people are like, oh, I don't want to curse now, or I want to do right for the Lord. See, that's the type of things that I was talking about in my beginning videos. Feeling like you have to become holier because you're in a certain spot, which everybody does it. I mean, if I go into a church and we're all talking about religion, okay, we're going to talk about religion. It's the fear that's involved, though, that I want to talk about. Different things like churches and magic and all that other kind of stuff. Those kind of things can be vain if not used properly. Everything at my disposal is a tool. Church, religion, psychology, philosophy, all those things. And so if I become too strong in one and forsake the other things in life, then I'm like a specialty store. Instead of selling a bunch of things, I can only then work on one thing. Well, if that's your specialty, that's fine. But I'm simply talking in terms of cutting off new knowledge and information and becoming a fanatic. You know, like I tell people, the English language, words we use, is how we know anything really. And that's how we communicate with the words. And so when I talk to people about the word and spirit, I want to give an example real quick. If I come up and start talking to you about a dog, then you'll maybe picture dogs, maybe your first dog, a time something went wrong with the dog, anything that has to do with dogs in your world. I have my world of what goes on in my mind when I think about dogs, and then another person has their world. That's why I keep telling people when I talk about the I am and the name of God or whatever people talk about, it's each of our individual kingdoms of the heart, and we come together and create diverse singularity. Nobody wants to go into singularity by themselves. That's called isolation. So, um, vanity. Okay, think in terms of a relationship. There is nothing wrong with one a beautiful, fine woman or what you all would consider maybe a good-looking man or something. The vanity comes in when that's all you want. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so if you go to get with somebody to show off their beauty to everybody else, you might love them and you might feel a certain type of way about them, but really what you're doing is showing off a trophy. And so, like I tell people, there's two aspects. You have the physical beauty and the inner beauty. If you only go after the physical beauty, one, that might not last forever, and two, you're going to be irritated and annoyed to high hell. Me personally, when I look for, like when I got with my girlfriend, I'm physically attracted to her and I'm attracted to her nature. She's not a whiny, complaining person. She's strong. She figures stuff out. She's a beautiful woman. And so what I'm telling people is a lot of times people look for physical attributes when dealing with certain things like relationships. They'll be like, oh, they have to be a certain color. They have to be a certain religion. They have to be a certain this and that. And if those attributes are what you want, okay, but what I'm telling you is you could be missing out on something beautiful or another part of life if you only isolate yourself to one concept or one ideology. Even with language, I could be in a situation we talking about God and somebody hear me say fuck that or man that's some bullshit. They'd be like, oh, you're cursing, you're a devil. That makes no logical sense. Those are just words. They mean to what they mean to the beholder. If somebody else hears that and gets offended by that, then I can switch and be like, okay, I won't curse around you because. But if you go, oh, that's a demon because they said this or that, that's where like a lot of the arguments and the fighting and the us versus them come into play. Even me personally, I don't advocate for cigarettes, but I smoke them. You know what I mean? That's why when I come on camera talking about sins and stuff, a lot of you won't hear me. Sorry about that. You won't hear me talking about like, oh, they smoke cigarettes so they're evil, or oh, they drink so they're bad. And I tell everybody, I give the dangers of cigarettes in my videos and what they can do to the physical body, but then I tell people this isn't what makes a person evil. You know what I mean? They've been smoking tobacco in history for a long time. It's the chemicals and stuff they start to put in them to make them more addicting, and then it's also the chemicals they put in them that can destroy the body. Tobacco is a natural plant, just like marijuana, but they start to do crazy shit to it and make it even more dangerous than what it has the capability of being. And that's why I tell people life is a balance here in the middle, and then everything around the middle is the spectrum that who I am takes and chooses to live. But also, I give people the stone, the 10 Commandments. Something interesting and funny. I guess in China, I don't know if this is 100% accurate or who else doing this, but in China, they're showing scriptures in John talking about Jesus told the people, if you're more righteous or if you're innocent, to throw the first stone, so they walk away like normal. But then I guess in the scripture, Jesus turns around and stones the woman, and he says, I am a sinner too. I thought that was mad. I mean, funny from the perspective of what, but also not funny from the perspective of I hope a bunch of people don't start stoning people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know why they're writing the scriptures like that. But if you look at that spiritually speaking, what does he say? Sin no more. So if you look at that from the spiritual matrix of that, what's being said, maybe a righteous man told people, leave this person alone. They're not bothering nobody. But then when who I am found out what they was doing, it was like, all right, don't do it no more. And then who I am saw them doing it over and over again. So I gave them the law, the 10 Commandments, told them it's not, because people are going around saying, once saved, always saved, and you're always innocent, and you can do whatever you want. No, 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 no. Sin no more. And what is sin? But something that's causing you harm. And so I'd tell somebody, if maybe they'll be like, oh, I'm thinking about something and it's hurting my head. Write new poetry, write new stories, be strong on your spiritual rock. Remember that you are who you are, I am who I am, and I am the Most High, you are the Most High, and so nothing else can destroy you. No devices set against me will prosper. No kingdom sent to destroy me will prosper. No devices against who I am. Nothing, no part of the creation can destroy the creator, if that makes sense. So start saying stuff like that and building yourself back up. Because even in that book it says we're the gods, and you don't need that book to know that. We all have an I am. So think of it like this. You have the universe that exists. And then in science, they know that the sun is doing fusion and it's creating new atoms and chemicals and elements. It goes up to iron and a bunch of other stuff. Then those elements come to the earth where it's pressurized and we have an atmosphere, and they come together, and then the energy starts to form and create new bonds and chemical elements. Those bonds can send signals throughout itself, and so you have a neural network. After the neural network, the rest of the body is formed like a shell. Now, with that being said, we are the universe's observing itself. We are the creators. We can create whatever we want. We can think whatever we want. It's when people try to mangle us and take us and tell us, you have to worship this, you have to do that. If I'm telling somebody they have to do something, it's because it might hurt. Like if I see a child running into the street, what do? Hey, no, hey kid, stop, knock it off. Now, like if it's my kid and they keep trying to run towards the street, tap. You don't have to keep, oh, I told you in the name of Jesus, and you, no. That's, okay, if it says spare not the rod, okay, so sometimes people have to learn the hard way, but as a parent, I could be like, Pat, don't do that. But then you got parents taking belts and whips and stuff off of trees and no, that creates a mud. Even if you do that to dogs, what happens? They put their tail between their legs and they might snap at you. It's about the journey. It's about purity everywhere. And when I say purity, I can't tell you what purity is. Just like keep the Sabbath holy, that's a descriptive word. You know right from wrong. You learn from your perspective, just like I am learning from my perspective. And then the more we learn, the greater we will be in terms of wisdom. It even says knowledge will be increased because we get smarter and smarter. Our children take our creations and we take our parents' creations. And with the taking of creations, we create new and new and new. That's why copyright, to an extent, yeah, I understand. But at the same time, if copyright was true, everybody's copywriting something. We would all be, if there was some mystical force up there like, you just stole that, we would be screwed. So that's why I tell people it's good to give reverence to the people and the forefathers that do create and do things. But then after that, the forefathers gone, and now we create and we make. And also something else I noticed, I'm going to give a funny parable at first. And when I said I'm just going to give a funny metaphor, imagine back like 100 or however many years ago when they were creating engines and stuff, and you had people, Jonathan, is that an engine? Oh no, the engines, they're gonna destroy us. Oh no, technology. Now we can't live without engines and technology and electricity. I'm not gonna get into electricity because electricity has been known about for like centuries, and they just have been creating new technology to use electricity to our bidding with power, so to speak. Even with a battery, when the power company sends electricity, what they're doing is it's a nuclear reactor. It's fusion power or hot. No, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact word, but it's a nuclear power plant. And what they're doing is they're taking uranium and different stuff like that, and they're letting it radiate. When it radiates, it comes into contact with all this water. The water creates steam, and it goes super fast. When it goes fast like that and creates steam, it's turning a turbine. When that turbine is turned, they have metals that are like doing this. I can't remember if the metals are scraping or something like that. When it's creating that friction, all that energy from that is getting sent through a wire. That wire, that copper wires, and all the wires that energy goes through, what's happening is there are magnetic fields. And through that magnetic field, when that energy is released off of the turbine or whatever, the scraping that they're doing, releasing of other types of elements, it goes through that metal wire. Pew! The fields, the electric fields that it's traveling through, it's traveling at like the speed of light. So what's happening is those fields are getting excited, and it's creating energy through that copper wire. The energy that's being created then goes through each step, like if it goes through the wire, through the charger, through the hole, through the port. The battery that's inside of that device is being energized by that release of energy. Here you go, here you go, here you go. Like I'll take you an example. Inside of this lighter are hydrocarbons, but it's a liquid. The reason it's a liquid is because of the pressure. It's super pressure, super tight. What happens to water and ice? It becomes like frozen and super packed. So what's happening? But then when you change the environment, it turns into a liquid. That's what this gas is. These hydrocarbons is in a liquid at the moment. When you release it, what happens is those hydrocarbons get released into the air, and they release back into a air-like state of gas or whatever. That's basically, it's not exactly like that, but the release of energy, this energy that's being created, when I add now how I said those turbines are spinning and creating like a spark or something, and then when those hydrocarbons are added, it creates a flame. All you're doing is turning those hydrocarbons into water and carbon dioxide. Though that energy that travels through the wire, when it gets the fields excited, it's creating energy. It's releasing energy because of the energy created. Because in the universe, when they say you can't destroy or create, that's true in a sense. That energy that's created is being radiated off of that current wire. So then what it's doing is the energy that's radiated goes into the battery of the device. When it goes into the battery of the device, it recharges that battery. Now, batteries are complicated, yet they're not. And what's happening really is a battery is like an ion. And what's happening with that ion is a lot of energy is transferring through. But that's why I tell people, learn for yourselves. I advocate for Khan Academy, Khan. My biggest problem in religion is that they're giving the ideology that religious people have nothing to do with intellect and understanding. They're making religion seem like pure spirit, and that's not how it works. If you look up any of these famous men, Zoroaster, who I like to call Elijah, he was a scholar. He was a brilliant man. If you research his words through Google and different sources, you'll be like, oh my goodness, he was talking like this 2,000 years ago. Then look up Yehohanan, John the Baptist. They created all types of look called Yochanan ben Zakkai, talking about give me Yahweh sages, and he escaped death through a tomb, and all this other stuff. He was a scholar. And then before that, look at Moses, Amos. That man was an Egyptian scholar. The Egyptian pharaohs were scholars at the time, and then different people started giving it to the world. If you pay attention to the true Egyptian kingdoms, the people that were of the bloodline was getting all the knowledge, the knowledge, the knowledge. But then different pharaohs, when it became pharaohs, they weren't pharaohs at first. That's a Semitic creation, and I have evidence proving that. Pharaohs weren't created till 1500 BC. When the pharaohs started coming in, they started creating big, massive kingdoms and spreading their knowledge throughout the world. I'm the king, I'm the god, I know the knowledge. So then they spread it to the people, and then different people started awakening and becoming scholars throughout the world, priests. And so it's about knowledge and intellect, and using that intellect in an understanding, wise way to where it can be used in a spiritual world. This simple lighter can be used as a metaphor. If I'm going through times of need, I am the fuel inside. Let my body be the shell. I will not be tormented by my own hell. I am the fires that don't consume, so Satan, be gone thou from the room. Or should I say who I am not, before these other idols get hot? Then they will create a ghost in the sky and say the morning star fell and hide from their eyes. You see what I mean? Poetry and different spiritual words to help me battle. People will say, you're getting drunk on the vine. You're not God. You're not this and that. But he himself in the beginning said, we are the children of that which I am, right? So when I say I ams, a lot of times people will think I'm trying to usurp and take it all. I'm saying, let me be like another firstborn of the flock, and I'm giving you all the I ams. What I do, I want you to do and learn how to connect to the source. You. Because what's happened is people put a lot of clouds in the sky. And when they put these clouds, they create a lot of smoke on the ground and fires. And those smokes rose up to the sky. And then it clouded the sky so we couldn't see the star. The morning star, so if the morning star falls, that means a new day. That means the old prophet and his people become corrupt. So now a new way has to come. New. It says in 7 days, it says every day, every light, and so people are taking certain wisdom and they're creating an allegory of hell, an allegory of the cave. You'll never be redeemed. Give it your life to. Sus means Latin in pig. I'm just trying to tell people this. And that, it's actually kind of funny because I grunt and stuff. That's for a whole nother. But anyways, the point is, they're calling themselves gracious pigs. And even if you pay attention, words don't really matter ultimately. If I lost all knowledge in words and I went and started doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff, then I wouldn't have no more words to guide me. It'd be on my instincts. But then even still, even though my instincts have already been guided by the words, I would still instinctually know all this stuff. And so it's like ultra instincts. But anyways, the point is, the reason I brought that up with Jesus is to let you all know people will change things throughout time, but the only thing that remains the same is the true self. So if a baby is born and he learns from somebody, and then that baby awakens and goes, hey, it's about my kingdom and I am a human and I can be a king and all. Okay, they're awakening. That's the Christ mind. The problem comes when one awakens and all these people get manipulated or all these people get enslaved by them. And then it's like just pure trouble. And people rebuke the source, that which I am. Because if you're a huge king or whatever and you have people and you have children, then you're basically destroying your brothers and sisters and destroying your four children. Ancestors, forefathers, four children, and children. I don't know how to. Your future generations, your future descendants. And that's what the Ten Commandments even says. Honor thy father and mother, but I put protect the child now, because all that stuff from the Bible can be destructive if you're not careful. I even warn people, if you're not reading from the perspective of I am, and you're putting another God or another whatever inside of your head, you're giving other men's I ams the power over you. Each man has an I am, and when you see the Lord God, or the Lord or any of that in that spot, you're saying I am. That's their I am. But if you read it from your perspective, you can be like, ooh, that's not part of me. Ooh, I don't want to follow that. Ooh, that's against the Ten Commandments. Why would I slay entire villages? Why would I do this and that? But at the same time, eye for an eye. If so, I don't want people to just be oppressed and beat up. Fight for your right. So there's a balance to everything. Some people may say fight for your right and want to go slay the entire caucus. I say fight for your right, and that means we're all going to be together and learn to love each other. Because we're all humans, so we're all brothers and sisters. You're all humans. So you're brothers and sisters. I am who I am, and that which I am will not watch children and brothers and sisters be destroyed. I'm not going to fulfill some gold-like prophecy so that you all can beg for destruction. People keep saying the Lord created the world so they could reject him. No, the fuck he didn't. He created the world so that he could have a family. It's people to be around. Friends and loved ones. And the only world that's talking about being destroyed is the spiritual matrix, the psychological matrix that people have created. At the end of that book, it says the fire came down for who I am not, who I am not, and who I am not. 3 spirits from the old. Slavery, death, and what's the other one? Blatant disobedience. Because when I say disobedience, disobedience is what freed me. I'm talking about to the law. Don't kill, don't steal, don't covet, don't harm others, don't... You see what I'm saying? That stuff, the true covenant, the one in the heart. Do unto others as you want done it to yourself. And I want to see everybody rich. So I want my riches, and I want what y'all took from Africa and a whole bunch of other people. From John the Baptist. From Amos bringing JB. So, a lot of times the general public may not understand what I say certain times, but to whom those messages are for, they understand loud and clear. And my will be done. And I will not be mocked, stopped, or tamed or harmed. And I will prosper. And no weapon formed against me will prosper. None. Because I am me, myself, I. And the creation cannot harm who I am. So just remember stuff like that, those words, but also use your discernment to remember that's the spiritual world manifesting into life. So what I'm saying is, y'all have seen the Matrix. Don't be doing shit like that. That whole building shit with Morpheus, that whole Vanilla Sky shit to wake up, that dumb shit, that's Hollywood. The synagogue of Satan. I am life, and who I am is living. I am happy in admitting. I am thankful and forgiving. I am loving for sure. I will happily endure. I am not vain psychology, religion, and philosophy. An angel that's been running obtuse, things that could knock you loose, cook you like the goose, and take you away from Big Daddy Bruce. What's up, broski? It's in your wallet. I put it right back where it was at. Check. You know what? Check my wallet. Check my wallet. I'm sorry. In the money part. But yeah, I just want to come out for a little bit, talk to people, see what's going on. I gotta go in here and eat because you know dinner's done. Peace out, Brody. Yep. And I gotta continue living my life and continue speaking on behalf of that which I am, and continue to manifest more prophecies and beautiful things, because I'm here to save the world, not destroy it. I thought y'all was finna assassinate Trump. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Am I saying Trump's my best friend? But if I say thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not fucking kill. So if they're saying I am that which saved Trump's life, okay then. But also Trump better understand to stop fucking playing with a blessing. So, you know, I hate when people say God didn't protect Trump. Why would y'all say that? I am that which protects all things. But at the same time, my mercy runs thin. And when people are oftentimes harmed, it's from their own hand and not mine. That's the philosophy and how it works. That's the prophecy. If I lose, you win. But what did you win? If that which I am wins, then you get the source. You're connected with, I don't know how else to say it. I come bearing the covenant, my name, and peace and love. Forgiveness for all. Hell isn't real. It's from Germanic paganism, Hele, Norse paganism, from when the Roman missionaries came up north to get the Barnabas, barbarians, Vikings. They gave them the word and needed the word for Satan's realm. Sanatan Dharma, right? How did a god turn to Satan? From the Indo-Europeans. So then, once you go even further, they were using Hades and Purgatorum, which then translated to Hele in English from the Vikings, the barbarians, Anglo-Saxons, Frisians, Jutes, English, Jutes. Now there's Jews. Take the T out of that. There is no Hades. That's from the Greeks, messing around with African and Egyptian lores and teachings, creating massive gods, and then those gods took over because they didn't understand the source or the true nature of the teachings. Then people, even if you look at the law of Mayat, which came from Atom, that's a transliteration of. And then the fiery falcon, which came from the falcon from that. The 10 Commandments are the 10 10 laws from the laws of Maya, plus the laws for the God. The I am who I am the whatever. Don't take who I am in vain and all that. He put it in the man's hearts when Moses came in Egypt. But then, um, those all are Egyptian, African, Kushite, Hamitic stories. Hamitic, Kushite, and then there's Canaanites. So. Anyways, then you have the Naphtali and the valleys and stuff like that, thousands of years before that. So I'm just trying to educate people that ultimately, when I talk about vanity and having vain imaginations and talking about a vain lifestyle, life is lived by you. Life is lived by who I am, each of us. You, me, we each have a life. But in living that life, if everybody else tells us what to do all the time, then we're not living life. We're programmed by them. But at the same time, it's good to have guidance and reproof. But don't turn reproof into knocking people over the head. I keep trying to tell y'all that. Basically, what you do is you take wise advice, understanding, wisdom. And that which is for me, like the vegetables Daniel was talking about, the vegetables in the water. Or when you're ready to get outside of the milk, you come to the meat. The more powerful things that don't split the mind apart. You're going to be reprobate. You're going to be reprobate. A reprobate mind. Don't you see they're giving you lines of code about that? You wouldn't know about being reprobate. You wouldn't know about schizophrenia. You wouldn't know about delusions and all those other things. But now since I know about them, I use them to my bidding to keep me level-headed, to respect the stone, that which I am. So, I tried to remove the two witnesses and tell them to come up here, John the Baptist and Amos, and then they tried to send a hot fire towards me, and the stone popped up, the first 7 commandments, and then the 7 eyes on them popped up, and then a ring of fire was created, and now that which I am is king, and I have the world, the sun, and the moon in my hand, juggling them, if you will. So, all with understanding, understand what I just said, you know what I'm saying, come back to the 10, Akhenaten, who I would like to call the real Joshua. And I keep trying to reiterate this to people when dealing with like religion and the Most High. People be arguing over names and gods and stuff. A lot of these people are failing to realize that it's YV, but it's actually not YV, it's JB, if you do enough research and find out. The thing about JB is my name, my code is I am who I am. I will be who I will be. But also within that is I am gracious and the covenant, the 10 commands. So when people are talking about Yah, and J, and Yah and B, they're saying JB. Okay, when they switched the Y to the J, it wasn't because to make it look pretty. Y sounded like Jehovah. So then when the V switched to B, way, it's B, J, B. People will keep saying Yahweh and all this other stuff. You're speaking old, ancient languages. It's JB. Do the research. Y was turned to J, and Y isn't even supposed to. That's why there's a Y and a J. They turn Y into yeah, because that should be a W. I'm telling you, they're playing with language to keep people confused away from who I am. And I'm trying to draw as many from the rivers as I can. But also, outside of trying to save people to the system, I will be compensated. My country, nation, peoples, Africans, African Americans, indigenous will be paid reparations. And I'm waiting for my crown with the $400 million diamond on it from the Queen and King of England. I will not keep speaking about this, and I will not be mocked. So, did you find it? Your card. Alright, so, I'm just trying to speak to people in the kindest way I can. I'll take that, don't worry about it. I'll take it before I come in, and then I'll wash my hands for dinner. No problem, baby. But yeah, vanities, both of them? Okay. Vanities, to end this off. Different things people tell you are vain, they can't tell you what's vain to you from their perspective. Only you know what's vain or not. And if you like something, then enjoy it. If you don't, then don't enjoy it. If something is helpful for you, let it be. If something is not helpful for you, then that's your sin. That's what's not for you. We each have our own kingdom. Forsake not the source, the most high. I am. So when I say that, I told you I don't come to be a pharaoh, but I am saying to recompense my kingdoms. That book tells you to give reverence to the firstborn. Give thanks for him. He's the one freeing people. You seeing people running around here talking about I am, and the Most High rule and all these. They're forsaking the stone. Me. I don't know how else to say this. At first I was told to just come out as an angel, but now I'm trying to tell people I am what they're waiting for. But remain with me until your enemies are brought low. So I'm just, speaking to as many people as I can. They want the millions. They want the millions of churches and subscribers and whatever. I guess this will be funny for human history and edification later down the line. Because it's a paradox. In the current time, they're making fun of people in the past time for being Pharisees and Romans. But then in this time, I'm trying to do what he did in that time. I'm trying to do that which I am did in that time, who I am did in that time, with all the workings, all the evidence, all the proof, the revealer, not the shower, the revealer, not the prophet. But what do? Oh, they mock me worse than the Pharisees. It's funny. So, all who I keep pulling out the rivers who trust me and understand who I am, trust and believe. You got millions of doppelgangers. I'm the Christ, I'm the Jesus, I'm the Bahadi, I'm telling you, I am. So, I guess I'll continue to hide my eyes that are dark like wine, a hair like wool, and a bronze color of African, predominantly Asiatic descent. Congo the original, and Polish. You gotta be Jewish through your mother's side, from my mother's side, the Polish side. They know what they doing. But let them do. Until the ark is returned to me, that which I am, and my kingdom is brought forth. You all continue saying, please, Lord Jesus Christ, please, Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not here to mock you, and yet I am. I will mock them in their time of need. Many people are being drawn out. And understanding, all the atheists out there, I promise you they believe in God. I don't know why they still playing. Because that which I am can see the inside. All you got to do is talk. So, as I've told people before, the Asians and the Caucasians, a lot of you that are being taught to mock Africans when they say call the ancestors, that's for a purpose. You're being led astray. You could call the ancestors too. You all have African DNA in you. You all have Asian DNA in you. We're all one big family. Call on my name. Because JB is one thing. That's my name. But who I am is I am who I am. I am Sippy. That's why it says JB and then I am who I am. But they want y'all to keep saying y'all's way. Okay. Y'all supposed to be in the wilderness making sacrifices for that which I am. But y'all are planning his stories instead of building up that which I am in my story. So, Lord, did we not do all this in your name? No, y'all aren't even saying my name. Jesus. I'm not a gracious fucking pig. Then they will say, but Lord, we were deceived. I sent my fucking advocate a fucking book that says I am who I am, and all type of people throughout society and civilizations at every fucking lifetime. But Lord. Oh no, now I'm on camera. Now can't nobody say nothing. So when they see 10 seconds of the video, mock, haha. When they put me on live streams, is YHVH, Jesus from Pastor Dave Lynn, and then have JB right in front of them. Ask them, is Jesus Yahweh? I can't. What do you want me to do? free, slavery and wickedness is bad, and the Lord is bad for killing and slavery. Ooh. What's the Lord's name? I am who I am. I am that which does anything. Well, then who's the one speaking? Who's the one that does anything in their life? What do they say? So I am is God. Then he's wicked. I can't make this shit up. I can't. So let's turn it into entertainment. While I am blessed and continue to be blessed because I am trusting in the word and spirit and doing that which I am, truth, light, I will be infinitely blessed and gain riches and mass knowledge and help those and others. While the ones who's playing in this whirlwind of stupidity and buffoonery, watch who I'm not in the eye of the storm, swirl their ass around for a bit more. So, I think I've said enough for now. Just want to teach y'all the difference between like real vanity, they talk about sexual immoralities and all that. Bro, if a man likes another man and they doing their thing, I don't understand how that's sexual immorality. But I do know sexual immorality, all these motherfuckers dancing butt naked in front of kids and perpetuating music and talking fucking stupid in movies where people doing utter buffoonery. That, y'all not worried about that stuff? Because to me personally, you're all fools. We're all meant to be, what are clothes, what are anything? We're creating concepts. Okay, clothes are cool. I like the images, they keep me warm, whatever. But you see these people in ancient African tribes still living to this day. The Sam Bushmen and a couple other people are still to this day walking around, titties out, half naked, like the good Lord intended, right? Then, you don't see them raping and doing all this crazy shit. They got a whole tribe and village and they do what the fuck they supposed to do. Then you go into intellect and civilization. Oh, y'all just ain't got no sense. Not everybody. I'm basically talking about the masses society. So now I'm taking this motherfucker by the tail, doing it like Bowser, swirling this motherfucker around like Super Mario 64, and it's about to land on that fucking mind they keep playing with. The mind they keep playing with, yeah. Themselves. Because I keep hearing people coming out talking about Trump is the Christ. Trump is the anointed one. Trump. I don't have to get angry anymore. I watch you all do it to yourselves. So if Trump is God, if Trump is Christ, alright, y'all want Barnabas some more. Because everybody that keeps talking about Trump is God and he's the anointed Christ and he's going to change the world and all that stuff, I don't know how many more times y'all want Barnabas and John and graciousness on the cross. I don't understand it. Every generation y'all do this shit to yourselves. So think of the Bible like a save point. And at every point in the Bible, a spirit or a man or a spirit is telling the men, hey, talk to these people, see if it's time for them to do what's right yet. And at every point, then you get to this day and age, look at all those dumbasses that didn't listen to the Spirit of God. What do y'all want? Look what he's doing. He's making fun of. Who am I making fun of? But y'all dumb motherfuckers. Not the ones that listen, but these dumb motherfuckers out here that just playing their ass. They call churches charities. That's why churches are charities. That's why they don't have to pay federal taxes. Well, y'all is the charity of Satan. Y'all is the charity of that which I am not. Let me be more clear. Because Satan's a part of the creation, apparently. Y'all love groveling with that motherfucker. So I don't know. Some alien type shit from a whole nother universe, something I don't fucking know. Because y'all all do the same. Oh, I'm vain. I don't give a shit. I'm going to live my life for God, atheism, blah, blah. Then y'all all do it. You get older and start begging and wither away and fuck your minds up and are tormented. Because y'all want this. So, alright. It's been fun talking to y'all. It's time for me to go eat. Vanity is what you created to be. If you want to be a vain, ignorant, foolish person that don't learn, don't understand, can't accept other people, can't learn to love other people, learn to just have your own way. Even if people bother you, go do your own thing. All you kings, look what just happened to Israel. I've been spoken and it happened. I said Israel's going to be utterly fucking stopped. And they done pissed me off. Now the UN and the whole court said they gotta stop. and said what they did was, I want to say unconstitutional, but that's like an American. It was unrighteous. Oh, and now all kind of sources is coming after Israel. I think I'm fucking playing. I don't have to lie. I just posted a video talking about I am God. I am. I've returned. And you will get multiple evidence of how many prophecies I keep fulfilling over and over. I said if Kamala Harris is a president like a month or two ago, it's going to piss me the fuck off, and anything else is going to send me into a rage because of what y'all did to people of color. And we will get reparations. What happens? Biden gets COVID and he wants to drop out. Trump is going through some things, so he hired somebody named JD Vance. JDV. Hope you guys can hear me. So, if y'all continue to mock me, it's a manifestation of what y'all are doing to yourselves and your civilizations. I'm trying to tell people that. I'm harboring the name I am who I am. I am that which creates anything. So, I don't know. Told them that the firstborn is to be the king and the most high. What do? They said Trump. They said Trump was the firstborn and the most high. Could you imagine a world where if that which I am is upset enough, sends you to a world where Trump is the God and your 7 days be lived with Trump, and a constant resurrection loop of you constantly having to deal with those 7,000 years of Trump being Yahweh, Trump am who Trump am? Yeah, but y'all, hey, do it, do y'all. He's talking that sci-fi cosplay again. Then he'll get up there on the podium. The Lord Jesus is going to rain fire down in 70 billion quadrillion eternities of heaven. And don't miss the mark of the impenetrable blah, blah, blah. But I am cosplaying. What? Alright. So, love y'all. Enjoy. Stay blessed. Seek and you shall find something. Because, boy, what y'all keep pulling out the rabbit hole of destruction is hilarious. And I don't want to sound disrespectful. I mean, it's funny because y'all are doing it to yourselves over and over. Keep hearing people say, "Why does God cause cancer? Why does God?" Even if you look where a lot of cancer comes from, it's man. They're creating chemicals and shit. And you look at all the preservatives and everything that's in this shit. And they're like, why is God destroying the earth and killing people? Who destroys the earth and kills people? Man. They don't listen. They're a bunch of fucking buffoons. I am the universe observing itself. Mankind and man comes from that which I am. They don't want it to be this. So they are trying to play games. But like John from Sauce said, let's play them again and again and again. The Great Reset 2012 Y2K and writing to the word that Pharaoh is going to drown all firstborns. Have no idea how that manifests and lives out. Coming for you, Judah.